Okay lah. Okay la. Oh yeah, la, law, ne. I use ne a bit. Like. I use like a lot.
I still feel that filler not too bad.
What do you mean not?
Not the worst thing in the world to totally remove. Of course, you sound a lot better, but like it's not something that having too much, it affects. But it's more like
it feels like
the
I have
root-
too much though.
like Bin say it's a root cause. Why do you use it? It's probably because of you don't feel
Muscle memory.
not just muscle memory, it's like how you feel, how you act, how you present yourself.
How I present myself.
Be okay with taking up more room, things like that. Naturally, if you won't like start stuttering more, if you are more comfortable with
a lot of people who public speaking in general, they do. I've watched or observed a few more people, and they just do use like a lot. I can notice it because I was already like staring at myself, listening to myself like say like a lot.
saying like.
I over rely on it, definitely. And any word that takes away from the message is not good lah. You're trying to be more precise in my speech.
A lot of people use like. Even me.
Like a lot of people use like.
Yeah, try to reduce it and get habitualized towards like the state whereby you don't
Awareness
need
is
it.
the first sort of step in a sense. So
Yeah.
how
Kind of there's
many episodes deep are we?
there's a
8.
there is like a kind of at some point, some females, they're damn annoying when they use like
Okay.
yeah. Don't reach there. You don't even know what the hell they're saying. That's the thing.
I don't know. The way that you use the word females in general, it is just like it is as if you are looking at them as a entirely different species of I don't know.
mean,
like the way that
they
you
do think
they
yeah.
they are
I
we have
am
differences.
looking them quite differently.
I think
Than
it's
male.
some people say it's an ick or something when men call
Well,
women
those are
females.
not my audience then. If they ick about this sort of things, which there's no reason to. I'm not saying they're bad.
Mhm.
I'm not using it in a derogatory term.
Mm.
Just saying that there are notable differences and just respect those differences.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like what anti-feminist or pro-feminist. It's none of that. I don't really care at this point. Like, it doesn't affect my life.
Yeah. I do observe it. The last time whenever you use the phrase,
Why?
not sure. I guess it is because I've heard from people in the past that calling them, grouping them as, or like addressing them as females.
Address.
That's off. This is all about language, I guess.
But those people I pointed out, they are somewhat affected by a lot of the useless noise. There's a lot of useless noise on the internet right now. Like even I got affected quite a lot when I came across this clip of a Singaporean podcast. I'm not sure, it's like hosted by 2-3 females, which is true in this case.
Okay.
And they just they were discussing about like Singaporean guys and why they know like in general there's no good looking Singaporean guys. Singaporean guys in general, big size, have muscles, but lack like the facial feature, like doesn't stand out in terms of like Korean or Japanese guys.
There are all these overgeneralizations. I am not a fan of them.
Yeah, and it's their opinion, but they say in a way that it's like generalized.
All guys are like this. All men are red flags. Stuff.
It's just that they don't find attractive. They have a certain type, and they put themselves out there on the internet to talk about their preferences in the sense that it frame it in a way that it's like oh, this is the universal fact.
There is a not all men, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So be aware when you consume content like this, because it does affect how you present yourself also. Then sometimes if you have to censor too much, it takes away from the message also. You think so much about how to get around the message so that it's not like, so you can avoid the opinions of people that like them, the small part of the population. Then in the end, does more harm than good.
You're worrying about, you have to worry about it. It will affect how you even live life, when it may not even affect that much.
Yeah.
With language, it is all about intentionality, using and minding your language, in a sense.
One thing I want to talk about is my usage of, I wonder, is it better to use the term girls or women now in my stage of life when I talk about girls or women? So we are at the age, for you, it's safe to say you can still use girls mostly.
Mm-hmm.
At some point of life, if you want to talk about like love life, if you want to talk about maybe the intersexual dynamic, you just have to touch into, do you want to use the word women or girls? Because girls, although it's just a gender, but some people can take it as like haven't passed the maturity line.
Maturity.
Yeah.
It is something I've also sort of thought through. Like when I address someone as girls or women, it is, you have to figure out the context. When it is applicable. Like you always think, will this make me sound creepy if I call them girls, something like that, or
Or will it be too out of the place to call someone a woman or address someone else in a conversation? Or my group of friends, they are all women. Then we are not used to it. It's something unfamiliar.
We have to get used to it soon as we age, right? So.
Also, I guess one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the girls in our life will
grow.
Most of the time they are women. If not, you probably won't be hanging out with them. I'm talking for both of us. But for a lot of you that is like doing like self-improvement, same thing. You probably won't be hanging out with like girls, like basically
it is now
immature.
More slang, girl, like you call people as girls, like, even older women. Whether to flatter them or not, I don't know. But
right,
yes.
right. Sister, no. Or
you go, sister.
Bro, you're just gonna bring back episode 1 again.
But language, complicated, but it is what we all have to use to communicate, get our points across, even survive in the world.
I mean, I think not a lot of people will obsess about minute details about calling people girls or women, but there we are. That's our personality, I guess.
Yeah, it is the sort of over-analyzing.
Yeah, it's actually, come to think about it, there's not much difference between calling someone woman or girl.
Yeah.
Because it's all about your energy, your intention, everything also. So all those like people that are born natural, I guess like they have good confidence and stuff. They don't even worry about small things like this. Yeah.
Does confidence affect what you sort of think?
Yeah, because confidence affect your conviction. Then you speak with more believability, more authority. You have the conviction, you trust yourself so much.
It may just be
whatever words that come out, it just flows out.
Because a lot of language is just what we are naturally used to using. So we have all the muscle memory, with habits, there are cues, triggers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of words, whenever we hear words, what we are picking up on is audio and also visual if you're looking at the lips. But cues are your inputting cues, and then your mind is sort of scrambling together, forming the meanings in your head. And then from there, yeah, that's how you understand, in a sense, whenever communicating. So I don't think confidence really affects. It may just be practice, like who you are surrounded with. If you even have to address people as, yeah, you have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a part of growing up?
Yeah. And it's about how familiar you are with the audience that you're speaking to as well. And the context. Like
Context matters a lot.
Context. And most of the time, as you're growing up, you have new context that you have to familiarize. Like speaking into a camera, into a microphone, with no one around, that will be something that is new to you. You don't have the feedback, you don't have any personal data to work with. Then new groups of friends, new lecturers, or like school teachers, or next time when you go intern, co-workers, those are all new contexts. You play a different role in them. With your family as well, sometimes you start to adopt a more mature outlook. Like in the family, you used to be the kid. You used to be the one that with no authority. Then now you are someone you start to lead yourself, so you have more say. You start to take charge of your own life. So now you have a slightly different role. You play at a different angle now in your family. The dynamic is different, so the context will be different.
The thing is that the world is constantly evolving, changing around you, whether for the better or for the worse.
Yep.
But you yourself are also changing, and everyone around you will, the people who are around you will, throughout your life, will always change. You will not, like your friends from primary school or kindergarten, you no longer are super close to them or spend as much time with them, that sort of thing.
I don't think I spend time with a single one of the people from my kindergarten. I don't even remember half of them. Or like, no, not half, probably 90% of them.
Yeah.
10% is probably carried forward to throughout life. But I think the main point here is that once you start to familiarize with the unfamiliar context, you start to find your voice. And as you're developing, especially if you are in a profession where you need to develop your speaking abilities, like content creation or sales or some sort of project management, you tend to find your way of like your standardized, your safe, I wouldn't say safe, but the
comfort zone,
the ideal way of speaking for most contexts. Yeah, but for most of us, especially between 15 to 25, you probably haven't found those yet. You still need more life experiences, you still need more practice, you still need more to hear more of this type of speech. I think that is important, to go out there and hear the speakers that you like, that you are impacted by, and just slightly analyze, think through how they are speaking and why it works so well on you. Yeah, you'll probably subconsciously pick it up. I think that's something like for people that watch a lot of Hamza, some words you start to use it in the way he used it, and the emphasis is placed on certain words that if you really go back and compare your past life, you got some recording to compare, there'll be a difference, even though you don't consciously go and change it. Small little changes like this, used in different contexts, that is when your habitual voice is being developed.
It is just your mental diet, who you listen to, how much of them you listen to, even. That will affect the language you use, the lingo, slang, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yesterday, I told you that I told you, but I haven't tell the audience, but I started a Carnivore Diet. So yesterday I went to, all I cooked was 300 grams of minced mutton and 300 grams of minced beef. There's like one big meal with like 4 eggs on top of that, cooked in butter. Yeah. What are your thoughts on frozen meat?
What are my thoughts on frozen meat?
Yeah, because there's like mixed opinions. Like fresh, you get more of the juiciness, you get more of the fats or micronutrients. Frozen, you lose out on the quality. But in terms of price, there's a big difference as well. There's like,
There are levels to the levels for price. If you want to go into it,
okay.
it is quite. So when I first started carnivore as a whole or exploring meat,
Yep.
it was fresh at fair price NTUC, our supermarket, or frozen. And then there were different qualities like grass fed or not. I started out without grass fed, so just grain fed, sort of. And it was obviously split testing. Frozen is always cheaper, but the quality wise doesn't really matter because what matters is the source. So where is it from? And what you ate, that sort of thing. So if they didn't eat grass, they ate grain, they were fed hormones, injected, stuff like that. That is the main thing that will affect the quality. Whether it's frozen or fresh, whether it's up to taste, how much fat is rendered, stuff like that. Or your fat quantity, 80-20, the ratio, or you don't even know what it is because the package just doesn't say anything, which is most of them.
Yeah, most of them don't.
Yeah. Whether it's lean or not, that sort of thing. It's up to personal preference. But quality is the thing that matters.
Quality is the thing that matters.
The source.
Okay. But when I first start going into it, all I care about is just getting the consistency first. So I think details like the sauce will come as I build the habit of sauce, like going and buy the groceries, learning how to cook it, and the whole process, the routine of the kill routine reward. Yeah, then get the reward, then slowly change.
It is, especially if you don't have the funding, you don't want to rush into getting it. You want to like practice with children. You don't give them the most complicated thing to start working on, right? You give them little short questions, easy MCQ, that sort of thing, multiple choice questions.
And for people that watch us probably at around our age, without the financial capability, you care about value for money, bang for the buck. So like, if you are starting on diets that need more, like you're trying to eat more meat, and meat is generally a lot more expensive than like carbs and whatnot to get the same amount of calories. So that plays into it's a question like quality or value for money, and can you get both? And what is value to you now? Because to a lot of people, value could be just getting on board on the diet so that it minimizes all the carbs, sugar, getting benefit of that, of eliminating that and replacing it with more meat first. Then afterwards, the value then becomes the micronutrients and the source of where the meat comes from.
It's a process, but if you're going down the carnivore route, which is quite extreme already, it's the most extreme elimination diet. So it is not a choice you easily make, but it's something I recommend trying because there are a lot of anecdotal data and everything that suggests that it is beneficial, but not long term. Just to preface, I don't think you want to be ketogenic diets long term are not the best. So cycling it, doing it occasionally for if you have certain goals, and if you have certain requirements like mental clarity, that sort of thing.
I'm still venturing out and seeing the benefits and how I can use it, the utility of it, use it as a tool. But I think for most people, the recommendation is just always treat life as like seasons. So for this season of life, what kind of diet or what kind of more extreme things that you might need to do. And knowing, the first step is always knowing what does a tool do to you first. So you treat carnivore diet not as a long-term thing. Although some people, they see so much benefits, they might adopt it as their way of life. If that works for them, then let them be. But I don't think definitely it's not for everyone. Not say like don't think, like it's definitely not for everyone to do it.
First of all, with diets as a whole, there is no one size fits all diet. So your body, everything, everyone is so individual that you cannot prescribe a diet that will fit everyone. So you have to really experiment with yourself. If possible, to even try to split test different foods, figure out what works best for you and based on your goal. There is a lot of debate in the nutrition sphere as a whole about diets, what is actually healthy. Then the companies, corporations, they do also demonize foods, and then influencers also demonize certain foods. A lot of conflicting advice. Try stuff out if it interests you.
Yep.
And if you think you need it.
And definitely look at the people they are trying to model after at this stage of your life. If you're trying to model after a businessman and he recommends you the keto diet, maybe lean towards it and try it out. Then if at this stage of life you are working on other things and you're working on like maybe traveling, getting more life experiences, then you might not want to be on a carnivore diet when you're traveling to like European countries or whatever, where you want to taste their food, you want to get the whole experience.
The thing is, most people in general do just go on a diet more to heal all their inflammatory autoimmune diseases, that sort of thing. So if you do not have them, you don't really, most people treat it as a last resort sort of thing.
Yep.
So if you don't have it, which I also didn't have, but I just wanted, it's how so last year, or was it the year before already? Wow, time flies. But I think I spent 2 months eating processed chicken only, air frying it in my room, eating eggs also. I heard about it from Andrew Tate, as I said, in however many episodes ago.
Really? Processed chicken?
Yeah, it was just processed meat, processed chicken.
Like the chicken fillet?
All those...
Chicken breast fillet?
Sort of, whether it's fried or anything, I'm not sure, but it was probably fried. So not the best, really not the best. There's added ingredients, everything with all that. And then I lost 10 kg. That was where I sort of started my whole physical journey. I was overweight and then I lost 10 kg, which already changed my life completely also. My mental clarity too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like removing the biggest poison at any point of time now. Then slowly ameliorate the whole entire journey. At different stage, after you lose the 10 kg, you probably need to, what's the next step to get better health? It's like one step at a time.
Yeah. From there, I reincorporated. I was still going out and eating occasionally some very unhealthy foods. And wasn't really caring about health. But from there, I learned about different diets, like the animal-based diet, Paul Saladino, heard all about food propaganda, lies, brainwashing, those sort of things you can go into. But yeah.
It goes all the way back to hunter-gatherers, whereby you hunt down like a mammoth, then you got meat for days. You probably won't be looking for a vegetable which doesn't taste good to your palate. For most human, like
there are benefits to herbs and everything. It is, but it's based on your body. So how your body responds is up to you to test out.
Yep.
And I've had periods where I tried out different diets, like the slow carb diet from Tim Ferriss, where includes more legumes like edamame. I had a bunch, and beans, but I didn't really have those much. Sardines, meat. Basically, most diets are they work because they eliminate processed foods, ultra processed foods. So foods that are in little bright packages with 1,000 ingredients that you cannot pronounce, or if you search it up, there are like warning hazard signs. I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, those are definitely food.
Definitely food.
Definitely.
Definitely food.
Yeah. I try to think back my weight loss journey when I was 130 kg, around there. From 140 to 130, just about going out of my house. Diet didn't change at all. Afterwards, it's slowly replacing all the bad snacking habits. Because as you're going out and stuff, naturally, it's like a synergy kind of thing. Because the story is that it was lockdown periods. And in those periods where I don't need to leave home at all, I'll just snack almost 24/7, except for when I sleep. When I was gaming, when after eating meals, I'll just like binge eat snacks. Like I can eat little Mars bar, those mini Mars bar. I can eat a whole pack, the value pack of it. I think like 10 or 12 of it in one sitting, one night.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of sugar, a lot of just junk, and yeah, that fucks up your body quite a lot. So after the lockdown period is over, by getting out of the door, it does eliminate a lot of those. Yeah, because of you're walking more, you're more active. So as a result, your blood sugar also don't roller coaster. Don't do it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then afterwards, my diet I still have like binge periods where I eat a lot of those bakery breads, those with like stuffed with cream cheese, stuffed with processed meat. A lot of those I eat a lot of those because my brother used to work at a bakery. So I won't say which bakery, but when they are finishing work, you're supposed to throw all the breads, the leftovers. But you just like take one bag, carry one back home. Then throughout the night, I just like eat, just binge the rest of the bread. It'll be like 10 or 12 of the breads that's free. And for people that can relate, baked goods are, I call them my kryptonite. It's one thing that really, I have to spend a lot of willpower not to eat them if they're in front of me. Something that I think most people got one or two food that if you see it, you want to eat it. Like, it's very hard to say no. Like, there's some study that says there's some genetic component into that as well. Certain food just causes your brain to come out with more hormones. I think Huberman talked about it before.
Hyperpalatable foods are in general just very high fat and high carbs sort of mixture. Yeah. So very sweet, or even in some drinks, some sweet drinks, they add salt because sodium, your body also craves for electrolytes, salt.
Mm-hmm.
So a mixture of those do tend to bombard your mind. So like fireworks going off in the head, like boom, ecstasy, food ecstasy. Yes.
Yeah, but I think there's a component of how your brain reacts to all these chemicals, but there's also another component, maybe is how it makes you feel, or
is it comfort foods, right? That's something that
comfort food, how it smells, or like cookies, whatever.
Or that's memories that you have probably from.
Yeah, but there's one particular thing I heard about like baked stuff. Apparently, John Cena has it as well. Baked goods, like cookies, biscuits. You can't see him. Yeah. Everything like croissants, pastries, breads, even baguettes. If I see it, that does like immediately make me crave for it.
Triggers.
It's a trigger for me. So having 12 bread just outside my room is such a low barrier entry for me to eat them. But the key thing is that I'm already moving more, and my diet slowly changed one thing at a time. Then slowly that diet just changes into a cleaner diet. Then into, as I'm doing more gym stuff, you start to look into macronutrients. Then at some point, when I reach about 100 kilos or around 98 kilos, and I was about to enter army, I start to look into like actual weight loss. So like start to count calories. Then that is when like it start to pick up properly.
It
like,
is
the health thing.
escaping from the cycle
Yeah.
of slowly getting out. Because when you are eating more unhealthily, you do think worse also, make
Yeah.
worse decisions. Yeah.
And it's really a step-by-step thing. Like you can't jump from eating 12 breads in one sitting to count calories. There's a lot of people when you hear counting calories, like, oh, that's too extreme, they waste a lot of time. But it's actually just a matter of like taking the next step is not to straight away jump to counting calories. And not for everyone as well.
What's the phrase with diets like ping pong or something diets where you
Yo-yo.
swing
Yo-yo
yo-yo.
diet.
So yo-yo dieting that is not good. You want to take it one step at a time if you're trying to eliminate stuff. So you can identify really what is working or what is not.
Yeah. That's why for me, there's a rule of thumb, like a kind of like personal hack is that I replace one food at a time. For instance, sweet drinks go first because those are the worst for your metabolic health.
Artificial sweeteners or that.
Artificial sweeteners or even sugar. Some people just drink actual like iced lemon tea with sugar and stuff. A lot of sugar.
With artificial sweeteners, it is more having it on its own is fine, but having it with sugar or like different types, which now more of the less sugar sort of or no sugar, they do mix and match a lot of them. Yeah.
So it's a worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
You get the short-term negative consequences and you get the long-term health like harmful effects as well. What I do is let's say sugary drinks or artificial sweetener is one of the main concerns right now. I identify that's the next step that I remove. I just cut it out, replace it with something like, let's say tea or like no sugar tea, or replace with something, a healthier alternative. Water, ice water, squeeze a bit of lemon, yerba mate, like any drinks that you can think of. After you get used to it, normally it will take at least about 1 week to get acclimate. Like it takes 2 weeks for your palate to fully get adapted to the new kind of food that you used to not like. So there's one hack for other people, like for you guys as well.
You are undoing years of habit in a sense. So if you really rush in, then yeah.
A lot of food that you think that you don't like, if you continuously eat it for 2 weeks, your palate will learn to enjoy it.
You shouldn't force yourself if anything really can, but yeah.
But if it's good for you and you know that soon you'll enjoy it, why not try it for 2 weeks?
That's the mindset I have also with foods in general. Once I hear that they are good or they have sort of benefit for me, I do adopt the idea that okay, no matter what, even if it tastes bad, will I be able to continue eating it? That's sort of thing you have to gauge for yourself.
Actually, that's one thing that I think we have in common. Since young, something natural or what, but my mom tells me that certain food is good for you, or like good for your brain development, you need protein, you need omega-3 or whatever, like fish or whatever. I'll learn to eat it and eat it a lot. So I'll enjoy it. Even though I'm not sure if, like maybe because of how she framed it and my mindset, some innate mentality that I have to get more resources. I need, like, when it comes to food, I like to get more. So when they say this thing is like, let's say fish, there's high omega-3, all this good for your brain development, good for just general health. Then I'll just eat it a lot to the point that I like it so much that it become my food.
For me, it was less parents. It's more I just went down the rabbit hole. I think because of the influences I was exposed to. But yeah, as you were saying, our brains are adapted to a feast or famine sort of environment. But the reality now with food access, everyone has access to food, clean water, everything. And now we suffer more from having too many options rather than too little options. So yeah, we live in a feast environment. There's not much famine now. We just have access to food at all times, any food at all times. That's we suffer from an abundance, excess in a sense,
and our brain is not used to that.
So Naval Ravikant says that most of modern life, all our diseases are diseases of abundance, not diseases of scarcity. So eating habits, there are habits also. Eating, craving, everything.
As I replace, like, to round out my point, there are habits, so you have to replace the cue and the routine one thing at a time. After you get the reward, which is you like the new thing and you know the benefits of the thing, that the healthier alternative that you introduce into your life, that will play into, it'll become an instinct because it's a habit now. You don't need to consciously make another choice, like, let's say, sugary drinks. It's just out of your habit now.
It's getting the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
So high leverage, like things you really do not need to be having, maybe just subtract them. Start with that. Start with the smallest possible step that you can take.
Then afterwards, after you replace, you have a new habit for, let's say, sugary drinks, just move on to the next one, the next item. Like fried food or whatever. Like, for everyone, there's different sort of levels to this thing.
There are levels. A lot of levels.
You have to go down with the easiest to remove and the most harmful for you first. Like, you can treat it as like the matrix. What's the... Basically, like, it's two axes. It's the 4-quadrant thing. 4 quadrants, the most harmful to you, the hardest to remove. If that makes sense. Yeah. So find out what is the easiest to remove from your life, to replace, and most harmful to you, and remove that from your life first. Yeah. Like, strategize how you slowly change your lifestyle, your diet.
Yeah. If you make too big of a change, have too much chaos, then you will be more likely to yo-yo. Whoop. Look back.
Yeah. And yo-yo, they say that going into a yo-yo diet is actually more harmful than just staying unhealthy throughout, because of the stress you put your body through. And it actually just strips away so much from your life when you have to, like, consciously go on, like, a hard diet, like, force yourself, then afterwards you fall back, and then you did the period of time, the stress period and whatever, just goes to nothing, and it actually contribute more harm to you. So, like, doing it the right way is very important.
Just slowly improving consistently.
Yep.
Not,
Another Kaizen thing that you should apply for people that you think that you're unhealthy or think that you can be a lot healthier, to reach your goals. For a lot of people, you want to be athletes, you want to be fit because of the influencers online. People that are respectable, usually they are fit, and you want to get better results in the gym, get better physique, so you start to look into better diets. So educate yourself on these topics, then slowly find out what you can change, the immediate next step.
Just being mindful of what you're inputting into your body physically.
So for me now is carnivore. So I will keep you guys updated into how it benefits me. So far, it has been good for my cognitive enhancement. I'm able to think clearly for longer periods of time. Yeah, without the need for carb fuel and refill. Like with carbs, it's a bit less consistent.
Okay, as a whole, with food inputs in general, there is 2 different fuel sources for your body, because food is what you're fueling yourself with. So there is carbs, which is sugar, glucose, that your body will use if you're inputting it into your body consistently. Then there is fat, your body fat, like that it will tap into stored energy when there's an excess of carbs from years of overeating. Then you do just store it as fat, in a sense. So it is, if you're on carnivore right now, which you are, which is not inputting any carbs, not inputting sugar, so your body is tapping into fats, the fats more, your stored energy. That is what ketosis is, in a sense, like a state of not supplying yourself with too many. There's like a certain threshold, I think. But tapping into fat more.
when you tap into fat,
Ketosis.
basically your ketosis is tapping into your fat storage to turn it into ketones and use ketones instead of glycogen.
Glycogen.
Instead of glycogen, which is when you keep filling yourself with carbs. And one example or one story I can give is just recently, my brother haven't been to the gym for a while, and his diet has been leaning towards higher carb diet, snacks, biscuits, breads, all of this. And when he started to go back to the gym, he realized that his ability he tired out after the first rep. So previously, he is able to go, let's say like 2 to 3 sets before he feel the fatigue stepping in. But because of how his body has been adapting towards higher carb diet, you need basically you rely mostly on glycogen now. After the first set, he already feel like he's on his 4th to 5th set. Because he haven't been eating like high protein and relying on carbs for the past 2 weeks. So that shows how, of course, we are all omnivores, but it shows that if you rely too much on carbs and your body is not fat adapted, it does have negative consequences in performance, in not just cognitive, like I said, but in your own personal training as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
First things first, for carnivore diets, I think generally carb sources, you want women, I shall use the word women, should not really be so drastic as to cut them out completely off the rip, because they are necessary for your hormones, everything. Our bodies are different in that sense. So be mindful of that. Then, it is like the idea that carbs do sort of slow you down, like carb down. That's why a lot of glucose spikes, everything, sugar crash, that is the thing. So it is eliminating sugar. It helps with mental clarity a lot. And then body, generally you feel lighter because carbohydrates, the word hydrates.
It binds to water molecules.
So for every gram of carbs, I think you get like 3 grams of water weight. You hold on to water more. So
I heard
something like that.
In order to put on, I think 1 kg very quickly, you just have to eat a minimum of, I think 250 grams or something of carbs, of like white rice or bread or something. Then drink water. Then you gain that weight already.
That's what, on the slow carb diet, when I had cheat days, after every cheat day, it was beyond the caloric surplus. I will put on, I don't know how much, 1 to 2 kgs even, and most of it will be water weight, which you lose over the next few days if you sort of cut back on the carbs, sort of thing.
I guess now looking back, I used to have like on the weighing scale, I used to put on like 2-3 kg, like within like 1 or 2 days. Then I lose that 2-3 kg very quickly as well. It's mostly water weight.
Some people, when they weigh themselves, they don't standardize like the time of day, whether they went to the toilet or something in the morning, stuff like that. And then they look at the scale and they say, why does it keep, I just lost so much weight, or I just gained so much weight, even though they just didn't standardize, control experiments in science classes.
And the diet is very unstable as well. Like you might go for a buffet where you eat a lot of carbs. Then the next few days you might eat a bit cleaner because you're in school or whatsoever. Then holiday season, you got a 2-week break. Then you start to go on like carb loading because you're at home, eat more snacks, you play games, you're sedentary. They hold more of the water weight.
It's just not being consistent.
So inconsistency on the weighing scale, that's where that's the how it happens. The why, I guess, not the how, the why.
I guess I want to go into my past a bit more. So I remember in primary school, my grand aunt would bring back buckets or just little containers of KFC from her work. KFC or Texas chicken, basically fried chicken.
Fried chicken is good.
Yeah.
Not good for you.
It's good. Not good for you.
it's good. It's hyper palatable.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
For sure.
Yeah.
It is fried in seed oils, stuff like that. But so that would happen for weeks on end. I can't remember exactly how long, but she would just keep bringing it when I was primary 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, yeah. So for that entire few years of my life, it went all the way up till I was like primary 5, 6. So it was 4 years. I was just constantly being fed fried chicken. And in excess also. So I was always eating until I was very full. My grandmother, in general, most grandmothers are very generous. They do just keep feeding you. My grandmother will always cook a lot of food and of certain dishes that I like. So for me, it was always like eggs, fried eggs, chicken, stuff like that. I always did and a lot of rice also. It was always, my other grandmother will always ask me to just put more rice. When I first started carnivore, I was slowly removing the rice. I was like, can I not have rice? That sort of thing. And then there will be feedback that you get when you're changing your diet. But in primary school, I had a lot of fried chicken and I got very cause and effect fat, obese. I think obese since even primary 2 onwards, primary 1 even, not sure. But I was a fat kid in general. And that continued all the way up till I was in secondary 4. I think I peaked at 85 kg.
Sec 4.
Yeah.
85 kg.
So legit 7 years of my life, more than 10 years of my life, I had unhealthy eating habits.
Okay. Primary school, how heavy are you?
Primary school, probably
B5, B6?
Probably the way I am at now, which is 67, 65.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I was a very boom. Yeah.
Same.
And I was also a food blogger. Just a fun fact. Law for you guys.
Oh, you were a food blogger?
On Instagram, yes. I posted a lot of food that I ate. Wait, do you even know?
No idea. KFC,
Today, Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll just post all the unhealthy food I eat on my Instagram. So it's been a habit. I've been tracking my Instagram food. My Instagram is also my food log sort of thing. So I have a log of all the food I've been eating since when I started. Yeah. Primary 5, primary 6.
That's a good way to track progress.
But it was unfortunately bad.
Maybe that does play into the reason why your diet is quite consistent now. Because you have been able to log and see how it affects you. So you have more of the conscious information.
I guess
you process the information.
I have a backlog of. And also I know that during that time I was probably not feeling great. Because obviously when you are in excess, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It affects your mental mood, everything.
It does. Yeah. Because information and whatnot, like we talked about on 2 episodes ago, when you're inflamed, naturally you cannot think clearly. You just feel horrible. Your joints tend to ache more. You feel like an old person. It's for people that keep coping that eating fried food, eating fried chicken, as long as there's protein, and you are going to the gym, you see their progress their progress is often very slow. Even though it might not be like they don't put on the weight, they remain the same, but they can't put on muscles as fast as they would like because of their diet. Although there's protein and whatnot, but because of how your body feels, it affects your performance.
Quality, quality, not quantity in a sense.
Yeah. To put on muscle is about the last few sets when you're actually pushing hypertrophy. So to get to that state, you need
the mental to be locked in.
Your mental and your physical. You don't want your joints to be inflamed when you are pushing heavy weights or to push beyond near to failure. So it all plays into the part. You might think that fried chicken, macros wise, a lot of protein should be fine. But you're eating deep fried seed oil that they have to color into orange color. It used to be grey and they find some way of clarifying agent or something to make it clear. It used to be some murky kind of greyish color, most seed oils, because of how unhealthy the processing actually is.
It is just being aware of how much extra stuff they put into the ingredient, the things that you think are even marketed as, you think it's just chicken, but it's not, because there is a lot of added stuff.
Like one thing they talk about like marketing, I thought about margarine straight away, like Planta. When you're young, you think, oh, plant-based, healthy. But it used to be grey in color, and they try to market it against butter. That's why they color it and do some speed testing. People used to taste both and say butter is a lot tastier. But after they color it, then frame it in a way that it's plant-based or whatever.
It's all marketing.
Yeah, it's all marketing. And
the thing is that margarine has what, rapeseed oil or something. I'm not sure what oil it is. And it also has trans fats, right?
It's basically trans fat.
And trans fats is the fat that's like the worst thing for your body, possibly. It causes all the cancer stuff like that.
Yeah. And it goes directly into your organs also, which you don't want your organs to be like to have a lot of excess fat. Yeah. That's when failure, the functions start to get inhibited, and a lot of negative consequences are. We are not like nutritionists or scientists, but
Pro science.
bro science enough, and you can probably go down the rabbit hole onto like how
it is
bad these things are.
The thinking of, are animal products bad? Because a lot of people have been eating them for centuries. I don't know.
Yeah, and they are all fine.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's only recently with hyper palatable, hyper processed foods, and you see obesity going up.
Depression,
anxiety going up also, stuff like that. All the stats, all the medical, you see the trends, and you can see we've started, like, there must be a cause to this effect.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Like, you think about it, the reason why in Singapore generally people are still relatively healthy compared to actual like Western, let's say US or UK, is because the Western diet has a lot of all these hyperpalatable food, all these like replacement of actual food. And if you see, like, from where I was last time, I was from Malaysia, you go to like a chicken rice store, you can see those that are not healthy physically, they pick out the chicken skin, but you know that they are eating something else that is worse. Like, the marketing has been so effective that you think that chicken fats or like animal fats are bad for you, although like our ancestors have been eating them and they are healthier than most of us.
I mean, in chicken skin there is glycine, which is excellent for mental health.
Yeah. So I used to joke this with my parents. It's like we see the other table, the whole plate of chicken, all the skins is picked out. And for me, I prioritize eating the chicken skin.
For me, I never like chicken rice. I would always take away I'll get white chicken rice and separate the skin away.
Yeah, but why?
That's the thing, I just didn't like the slimy texture.
Is it?
But once I got on carnivore, I started learning about, glycine is good for me, chicken skin is good for me, then I started eating it. So,
but isn't that the most enjoyable thing out of chicken?
To me as a child, I guess it wasn't.
You mix it together, like with the fats and stuff. Like, to me, that was a flavorful thing. Like, if you don't talk about like how bad fats are, it's just good. It just tastes good, and there's a reason why it must taste good. Like, your body wants it, lah.
True. Yeah.
In that sense, lah. I'm not saying that hyperpalatable tastes good also means your body need it. But in all this natural stuff, if it tastes good naturally without processing, it's probably your body probably want it.
Yeah. Most diets are whole foods, prioritizing whole foods in general. Like, that is my diet now. I'm not really strictly on anything. Occasionally I may cut out certain foods, but that is what I go with. Really, the demonization of fats in general, like, fats do not make you fat. It is sort of an idea that's pushed out to people. People think that animal fats is bad for them.
Yep.
But most of your mind is made out of cholesterol. Your hormones function on cholesterol, which is basically fat.
Yep.
So dietary fat will not make you fat. It will not.
Yeah, because things that are high in dietary cholesterol, which is like eggs and stuff, they don't actually contribute to your bad cholesterol. Actually, eating more sugary, seed oil, all this actually contribute to having, or like trans fat in general, does contribute to bad cholesterol.
Like, those are the things that are the poison.
Yeah.
Not, you cannot blame, I don't know, just look at the chicken. Like, if you blame the chicken for causing you diabetes, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm glad that more information about this is being spread throughout the internet and like word of mouth and stuff. Like probably you all have that one friend out there. If you're like doing self-improvement, you probably have one friend out there that is conscious about the health and they start to know about all these actual, like, see beyond the lies, see beyond the marketing efforts. I'm glad that this is being worked on.
It's great to have awareness. Knowledge is power, this sort of thing.
Yeah. Like knowing, like actually, I realized throughout all these years, after knowing about all these things, it makes decision making a lot easier because you know what is good for you. And like I said just now, your palate can transition after 2 weeks.
Your body is very adaptable.
Yeah, so knowing that and knowing the new information and you piece all of them together, just makes living healthy effortless. So knowledge is powerful in that sense that you don't need to go out of your way to do things that you don't believe in because you have knowledge. Because you know.
You don't want to blindly believe in scientists or corporations. You want to listen to as many opinions as possible, different perspectives, and then make a educated decision based on that.
An educated decision means you will need to have skin in the game as well. Go out and actually try out the diet. I think that's something important. Like if they say, for instance, recently on Adonis School, I watched Dr. Anthony Shafee. Yeah, he talks about his carnivore like journey and how he treats, like how he eats. Basically, he eat meat, which when you're hungry, when you crave food, it's super delicious. You eat the fats and whatnot. It tastes very, very good. Eat to the point that it don't taste good anymore. That's when your body knows that it's full or you don't need to eat more in excess. And usually meat, you get full quite quickly. Like a lot of people can eat a lot of meat.
Sort of food. But for me, when I was on, I was still able to go for meat buffets and everything and eat like 2 kg worth of meat. So it differs per person.
You can, but doesn't mean it's enjoyable at the end. That's what the distinction is in. Yeah. So I also can eat a lot of meat, but I know at the end it's actually kind of painful. You start to sweat a lot. The meat doesn't taste as good as the first like 10 bites. There's a difference. And if it still tastes as good as the first 10 bites, maybe you just never eat enough meat in your life, I guess. Or
I don't know.
I think it depends.
Force feeding yourself, I feel there is food. Your relationship to food is sort of important in a sense where you have to eat to survive. So I don't know. To each their own. You have to try.
Oh, and one thing I'm thinking of trying to implement soon. Like now I'm implementing a carnivore diet. So after I get into that fully, then I'll implement this is eating with your hand. I've seen it's a Muslim culture. Eating with your hand forces you to be more, you have to choose and pick what you put into your hand so that you can like scoop up and like push it into your mouth. So that conscious effort does help you to stay more present while you eat. Because I realized one thing, especially I think for people that are into the hustle culture or were into a hustle culture or you just eat and watch shows, watch anime, listen to podcasts, you tend to overeat very easily, or you tend to not realize your body don't register what you're putting in your body until it's too late. So that does be...
It is an idea I heard about from Hamza also in one of his videos a while back, I think, where he talked about mindful eating, being mindful and present, at least for when you take the first bite.
Yeah.
For me, how I've applied it recently is sort of taking a step back and not rushing into eating. Being, first of all, grateful for the food that you get to eat. So I've been sort of giving thanks, having gratitude. And also I've heard that taking a deep breath before you eat, so you can really calm down. Eating in a very agitated sort of state is not very good,
Mm.
the signals in your body are not really signaling well.
Yeah.
So calm, grateful, sort of present state while eating. That's good.
When you're talking about taking a deep breath, my mental image of you is after you express your gratitude about the food, you ground your foot out, then you take a deep breath as you sniff the food to your body.
Okay.
Rich imagination,
Rich imagination.
sniffing your food. I think that's a revolutionary idea. So for people out there that want to start a business venture, there's an awesome idea they can look into.
Don't give people food. You give them you let them sniff it only.
Nutrition powder to sniff on, yes. Because that improves their consciousness, They're more conscious when they take a deep breath.
But okay, I just want to cover this fact that, okay, not fact, I'm not 100% sure myself, but what I've read online is that 95% of your serotonin, so it is sort of your mood stabilizer sort of hormone in your mind, neurochemical, is stored in your gut. 95% of serotonin stored in your gut. So, and also like 65% of your dopamine, I'm not sure about that number, but check the show notes. It's stored inside your gut also, or produced from your gut.
It's produced from your gut, yeah.
Serotonin maybe stored in the gut, I'm not sure.
It's because of your microbiome release it, basically. Yeah.
So what we were saying a few episodes ago about gut health and everything, that is important. That's why what you input into your body will affect how you feel and everything.
Because I think we didn't really cover this, but your gut health is basically consists a lot, like mainly because of the microbiome, which is millions different. I think there's like few million
Trillion,
species.
billion, whatever.
Species. It's not million of those. It's millions of species living. Basically, your gut is in between your mouth and your what's that called? Your colon. It's like passing out. What you put in and what you pass out. This whole entire tract is filled with all these little they call it just microbiomes. It's microorganisms of like a lot of different species that they break down the food and give you the nutrients. And it's what is the word that it benefits one another? Symbiotic. Is it? It's a symbiotic relationship. So you need to actually feed it the right things, and so that it can produce, they can feed on the things that they need, and they produce you with the chemicals, with the nutrients that you need. So a lot of things, like for instance, if you haven't been eating nori seaweed for a long time and you eat it, you'll pass out just as a nori because your body lacks the microbiome, the microorganisms to be able to process seaweed. Then after a while, you realize if you be eating it consistently, then your body has the microbiome to be able to process that.
There is the idea that for good gut health, you need to, it's not just prebiotics. So prebiotics are more vegetables-based stuff like that. But probiotics, the recommended serving is 6 servings of fermented foods, basically. So Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, natto,
kimchi.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you want to eat a lot of that to even start to have feed the healthy bacteria, so there is a good base in a sense. But very impractical to eat a lot of that also.
Impractical.
And there are different, if you're on a carnivore diet, you can't really eat that.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, you can experiment for yourself. I've also been experimenting. I don't know. I think my mood was better slightly. Not sure. But I will not go out my way to prioritize it if it is complicating my life. The thing about elimination diet, carnivore, it is very, you can just think about it less. Because you eliminated everything.
It saves a lot of time until it doesn't. Like at some point, when your lifestyle doesn't agree with the elimination diet, it actually causes more mental distress that, now I'm going on this trip that I still have to only eat meat. Or this season of life, I'm spending more time on like networking and stuff. And you're supposed to go to restaurants and stuff, but you have to like prepare your own meals and whatnot. That'll cause more mental distress, that'll take away more from you.
Obsessing over anything or attaching yourself to any fixed diet in a sense.
Yeah.
Because diets, you should really just care more about eating stuff consistently, like the good stuff consistently.
Yeah. But definitely for certain types of diet, like let's say if you are prioritizing staying lean and building, like let's say like body recomp, certain diets like basically low carb diet just prioritize complex carbs and generally eat more healthy animal fats and protein, like basically animal based diet.
It is eating for purpose.
Yeah.
At any point in time, you want to be based on your goals, based on your life right now, what season you are in, what is aligned with that. Your diet should be aligned with that.
Yeah. And that, I think it's pretty natural to learn about all these diets. Like I only learned about carnivore diet when I actually committed to want to work on certain parts of my life at this stage. It only makes sense now. It didn't make sense previously. So don't need worry too much if you can't click with some of the diets that we talk about or some of the things that we kind of just pour out and just lay on the table for you guys.
This is really less filtered. We are not really, we are not nutritionists. We are not giving medical diet advice really, but yeah.
It's for the people that you're at the stage of life where you understand what we're saying. Some of these things in this episode might not.
It's good to just keep in mind for the future.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think for most of us, we just prioritize learning. And even if we don't need but next time when we actually need it, we actually got some reference experience to go back and actually do deeper research. So it's like we did the exposure part. So this is a kind of like just more exposure for you into what kind of, if you're someone that, like a video gamer that used to grind, high flyer in life. Like you want to optimize life in a way that you want to. Like let's say you want to be a businessman, you want to optimize your entire life around that. And this is the step that you need to take. Just expose yourself to tools that can just skyrocket your progress.
It's unlocking more information, like not limiting your worldview or not committing to one that was either given to you or fed to you by other people. So being open-minded. Yes.
Yeah. I think that is a good way to end. Although we talk a lot about nutrition, but keep in mind there's something very important. And it's a start. This is episode 8. Yeah. So you have learned a lot about nutrition, and going forward, focusing on your health, focusing on your physical, mental health, all this. There's a foundation that, like, one of the keystone pillars that you have to pay attention to in your life. That's why we are emphasizing it over and over again in different ways, you can relate it in different angles, I guess.
Like what constitutes health? Sleep. So last episode we talked about sleep, diet. I guess this episode.
Yeah.
The two go hand in hand. You have to care about it. Before we end, I just want to... So animal products in general, like eggs, meat, they are high in like choline, so good for mental health also, stuff like that. Fish, omega-3, they help with inflammation. So last episode, whatever.
So fish, omega-3.
Yeah, so my personal recommendations for if you want mental health.
Five food.
Oh,
5 recommendations for the viewers that immediately want to introduce into their life more, like make it the 80% of their diet in their lives. 5 food.
So really whole foods, right? Most of my diet you can list in ingredients. Like a friend said to me, do you only eat ingredients? Then I was like, yes, sort of thing. Yeah. Fish. So fish, fatty fish, salmon, sardines. I eat sardines now very often. Seafood, shrimp, stuff like that. Okay, but fish for omega-3s, that is, I think, more or less proven now.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs. I think I've always loved eggs.
Eggs.
Like even throughout, I was always having half-boiled eggs, stuff like that in coffee shops. Meat, I don't know, red meat, beef, I guess.
Beef. Okay, red meat.
Wow, 5. Like for health.
For health.
For most of the diet. Okay, this really is most of my diet right now. Even avocados, I'm not that sure if it is that good.
Okay, for someone that just want to get healthier.
Just to get healthier. I mean, if you have to go with meat, now I don't really eat a lot of chicken, but it is cost effective. That's why.
What about fats?
Or butter. Okay.
Okay, butter.
Thank you for reminding me.
All right.
Grass-fed butter. Yeah, generally grass-fed butter.
Okay.
Cut out milk. Okay.
Then the last one.
Last one.
Think about on your journey, what do you replace and like you see the most benefit from a diet?
I mean, really, okay. Since we are on nutrition, in general, I would just go. Is salt considered? Because really, my diet consists.
Okay.
Main bulk is that.
What kind of salt?
But not table salt. So it is sea salt. You want quality salt.
The best one I heard is either the most accessible is Himalayan pink salt, Himalayan pink sea salt, or I think the better ones is Celtic salt.
Celtic salt. That's why I have a lot of the time. I even put it in my water. So I hydrate, remineralize my water. Yeah.
I'm trying to find I can't find it physically in the grocery store near my house. So I see on the same grocery store but on the online website. So I'm looking to get Celtic salt as well. But I've been just taking Himalayan pink salt. It becomes like my household salt now. Like everyone uses Himalayan pink salt because it doesn't really change the taste profile that much. Yeah, it's just a lot more minerals, that's all. Yeah.
There is also Redmond Real salt. That's most carnivores, they will recommend Redmond Real salt.
I got no idea.
From some salt mine in Utah, I don't know.
Just stick with these two. It's easy to remember as well.
Redmond Reals, Himalayans, pink salt, Celtic. Those are generally the few that you want to go for. Scoop sells Celtic salt actually.
Okay. All right.
But yeah. Hey, what are your 5?
That's all.
Oh, no time?
For me, recently I've given a very simple, like one of my friends asked me what is a bang for the buck, like option to eat healthier and eat more protein. So for me, from my point of view, it's more macro friendly, but also it's quite clean. So it's based in Singapore. So first is the FairPrice pork knuckles, the German pork knuckles, crispy pork knuckles. It's at $17. You get this whole entire pork knuckles. It's just delicious. A lot of meat. It's 100 over grams of protein for $70. You can eat it for 2 meals. And a lot of animal fats as well. So secondly, eggs. But usually for people that can't eat a lot of eggs or you don't want to cook eggs and you don't really care about the quality yet, you just want to introduce eggs into your life, one easy way is half-boiled eggs at those coffee shops. Those are usually 70 cents to 80 cents, very cheap. Can just get like 6 to 8 of those, depending on how much you can.
The thing is that it doesn't overcook the yolk, which has most of the nutrients. Eggs are nature's multivitamins, that sort of thing. Super good food.
Third, this one is for people that like to snack. And snacking is not good in general, but if you really want to eat snacks or you want to chew on something, bite on something when you're watching shows or what, roasted grams. I'm not sure about the bioavailability of the protein, but one bag, which costs about $180, like less than $2, has over 35 grams of protein, and there's over 12 grams of dietary fiber. So if you really just want to chew on something, it's not that bad either. It's cheap. So like, that's the third thing, right? Roasted grams. The fourth one is just rotisserie chicken. This is a very easy way to, and you just have to eat it heated, or like you go and reheat it when it's warm. It is amazing, and you'll get filled out. And if you're on like carnivore diet, it's like a no-brainer.
I used to eat a lot also of just
chickens. It's very value for money if you get it from grocery stores. Like they are like usually ready to eat, and they're like cost like about $8, and you get also I think should be about 80 plus grams of protein or 90 grams of protein if you eat the whole thing.
Depends if you care that much about protein, but more protein is generally good for maintaining muscle and everything. Yeah,
and the last item, which is same as yours, particularly is canned sardines. Yeah,
I think I got you on, right?
Yeah, it's just easy. It's not super expensive, but it's not that cheap either. But if you are prioritizing good health and you're eliminating all the fast food and stuff, you definitely have enough funds to sustain eating all these canned sardines and all. And you don't even eat the best quality one. Just eat one that has relatively decent ingredient list. Like, you don't want to have too much like bad shit on it.
Just don't have a lot of added stuff.
Yeah, don't have like seed oil, all this on it. And choose one that you can that you can learn to like the taste. Because there are some that might be like,
Some people don't like the taste of fatty fish.
Yeah, I think for sardines generally most people can take. It's just mackerel that could be too fishy for some of you, but
Mackerels
I
are
love
bad.
fishy taste.
Tuna's also not bad. I'm a fan of fish, I think, in general. Yes.
Yeah, but the fifth recommendation, I'll specifically recommend sardines. It's very easy to get into. Yeah, because I think tuna, one thing is bigger fish, higher
There are
heavy
different
metal.
metal stuff.
Yeah.
You can go into the weeds, but not
So
really.
that's why this 5 recommendation is very specific, but it's for the Singaporean context. So if you are watching from overseas,
if you
do some research.
It's the Ayam brand sardines, right? That's what I take. They have like inorganic extra virgin olive oil, fresh water, stuff like that.
Yes, get the AYAM brands.
AYAM. Okay.
All right, that's all.
Butter is a superfood. Bye.